Welcome everyone to the On the Charge Race Report. This is your host Dan Rom, and tonight's action we're going to go over the World of Outlaws at Cotton Bowl Speedway, the qualifying races for the Short Track Super Series at Port Royal, and all the off the racetrack excitement this week in dirt late model racing. Please like and subscribe to the videos. It helps out the channel greatly. What a race at Cotton Bowl Speedway tonight for the World of Outlaws. It was the perfect track. I love third the mile, eighth the mile, paperclip ovals for the wing sprint cars. It was sliders galore, crossovers galore, and in the end, Brent Marks came up with the win. It was just an action-packed feature race. Just start off with Sheldon Hahnenchild leading from the start. Lap 9, Carson Macedo got him on a restart. And from there, they were cruising until a big crash on lap 17, where Sam Hafertepe Jr. flipped, and Donny Schatz and David Gravel got collected into the mess. It looked like it started off where all the leaders, like the top 7 cars, were coming into lap traffic. Brent Marks, who was at the time in third, bumped into a lap car, which kind of made them hesitate, and it backed up the field. But from there, we had a couple other little restarts, but then Carson Macedo, Brent Marks got up to second. Carson Macedo was leading, and for the last 12 laps, they were throwing slide jobs and crossovers on each other. With 3 laps to go, Brent Marks was able to throw like a short slider into the first turn and keep the lead coming off second and cruise to victory after that. They did have a green-white checkered restart, but he dominated the restart and cruised to victory. Carson Macedo came in second. Gio Scelzi, who was battling in the top 5 all night, came to third. Fourth was Logan Schuchart, and Aaron Reitzel came to fifth. Now, Aaron Reitzel had a wild night. He got ejected, and he was the fast timer. And in his heat race, he got ejected for 2 unassisted spins during the race. So he got ejected from his heat race, started 22nd, and was able to battle to fifth. It was just an excellent sprint car race. These are, like I said before, my favorite tracks. They're not tight, and they show off the speed that these cars can do without being so big that they're never close to each other. It was an action-packed race. Everyone was all over each other. We got slide jobs galore, like I said, and just a lot of action. And it was just a good race. They were able to get. There was concerns that they were with weather, with thunderstorms, but the thunderstorms passed to the south and north, so they were able to get the race in. Only 23 cars, but for this size track, that was fine. They continue again tonight at Saturday night at Cotton Bowl again, so starting at 7:30 Eastern Time. In dirt modified world, we had the Short Track Super Series. They have their big $50,000 to win speed showcase at Port Royal Speedway. They had qualifying races tonight. 5 qualifiers. They had 65 total modifieds at the track. The 5 races were actually quite exciting for 4 out of the 5 of them. There was a lot of battling. The top 4 in each heat race were going to go to the feature, and a lot of battling for those 4 spots, especially around 4th. We had some big accidents. It was a tough night for the Michael Troutwell team. His backup car was getting driven by Brian Swartzwelder, and he ripped off the front tire, hitting the opening at Port Royal. And then in Troutwell's his own heat race, Danny Barron cut a tire right in front of him, and Troutwell went over the front of Danny Barron's car and then rolled over. So it was a rough night. But for the heat race winners, we had Ryan Watt, Ronnie Johnson, Ryan Godown, Mike Maheny. It's always good to have a Mike Maheny victory, and Matt Williamson. So the action continues tonight at Port Royal for the features. Like I said, there were 65 modifieds. There was 85 crate sportsman cars. So a lot of racing to do at Port Royal tonight. And then the late miles. Well, neither the World of Outlaw late miles or the Lucas Oil's late miles were racing this weekend, but at the end they were probably the biggest stories of the week. We'll start off with it's Wednesday and Thursday were the craziest 48 hours. It started off with the World of Outlaws finding and suspending their past champion, Bobby Pierce, who is probably their biggest draw to their races, is getting suspended for 30 days or 4 races for having a non-conforming tire at their races at Fallujah and Dirtcar Nationals. He's out. And then in the Dirtcar portion of the Dirtcar Nationals, Devin Moran and Kyle Bronson had non-conforming tires, and they're out. That has a lesser extent because Devin Moran's going to be a Lucas regular, and Kyle Bronson probably has been either or, so he'll probably go over to Lucas. But it just was crazy Wednesday evening. I have a feeling that Bobby Pierce will probably go to Lucas too, at least partially. They don't follow, and this type of tire test and infraction, Lucas and World of Outlaws don't hold each other's suspensions up. The tires are a complicated issue in dirt late miles, and it's come to my attention, and I've heard rumors, but there's a lot of side tire business. A lot of the dirt late mile guys are sending their tires to guys to make their tires better. Whatever those guys do to make the tires perfect, there's a lot of question marks. But it gets whispered. You'll hear other channels kind of talk about, but not get into great detail. But there is definitely a cottage industry in making dirt late mile tires the best they can be. Let's say it like that. And then Thursday, the biggest news of the week. We had Hudson O'Neill and Rocket 1 separating. Not really given a reason why, in that we are in March. There's a feeling that there is some more interesting reasons why they're separating than just on the racetrack performance. Since their performance hasn't been bad. Last year they won Lucas. They had over $1 million year. So there's rumors. In this channel, I try not to want to go in the off-track rumors and drama, more on the track. But for the fans, you want to know where these stars are racing, and like Bobby Pierce and the Rocket One car. You want to know where they're going. You plan your trips, your race trips, to see these guys because they're the stars, and to know that the World of Outlaws won't have Bobby Pierce at their next 4 tracks, like was their biggest star really, and he's an exciting driver to watch, and it's someone you would want to go and travel to see race, and now. He's not going to be at the World Outlaw races. Who knows, he might be at the Lucas races now. So, and then the Rocket One, the same thing. It's the number 1 dirt late mile team. And you kind of want to know what they're doing. It's already been confirmed that Tim McCreadie is moving from his car, the 39 car, over to the Rocket One. Carson Ferguson is taking over Tim McCreadie's ride. And Hudson O'Neill at the moment doesn't have a ride per se. It's just been a crazy week in dirt late model racing. And both series, World of Outlaws and Lucas, race next weekend. But continue to follow the channel. We'll be on tomorrow night after the races at Port Royal and Cotton Bowl for the modifieds and sprint cars. And like I said before, like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the races.